Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to the Corsair Cup Season 7 Round 2, powered by Twitch. I have Zomgrub's camera portions off a little bit, and alright, my webcam's over here, I'll get that fixed in a sec. I had some problems yesterday. I had perhaps what is the most classic case of, have you turned it off and on again?
Okay.
So, birthday stream goes great. We have some fun. I meet my parents for dinner. I go out to the park with some friends, come home. Ready to sit down. And I need to move something behind my monitor. So I unplug it because it's a pretty big monitor and I have limited space. And I'm using a DisplayPort cable, just to note. So I move it. Not a problem. Fix the thing behind my monitor. Put it back. And it won't fucking turn on. Or rather, it turns on, but it won't recognize the cable. It says DisplayPort not recognized or something. Or not detected. And I'm like, well shit, maybe I plugged in wrong. So I do it again. Same problem. Unplug it, replug it, not working. Getting really stressed out. I'm like, did I just break my huge monitor or is this the cable? So I rush out to this electronics store that's open till midnight, grab a DisplayPort cable, rush back home, and then by the way, when I got there, it was like 3 minutes from closing type thing. Rush back home, plug in this brand new cable that couldn't possibly be broken. Doesn't fucking work. I'm like, shit, it's the monitor. I fucked my monitor. So I immediately start Googling responses and how I can clear this up, how I can fix it. Turn the monitor off, unplug the power, plug the DisplayPort, then plug it back in. I'm like, it couldn't be that simple. It was that simple. So fucking mad. Ugh! Anyways, Good morning, everybody. We're live at the Corsair Cup. Hit us up with some retweets on what's going on. My camera's not staying down here. It's just down here because I was moving all my stuff yesterday. But we should have a pretty interesting bracket. We had a hell of a lot of signups, but not a hell of a lot of check-ins. So that's why the bracket's going to look a little inflated at an initial glance. But our admin should be finalizing at any moment. We had only Molly yesterday, which, by the way, you got to remind me. I got to reach out to her for payment. And then we got Darius coming back for today.
That's correct. By the way, I had the exact same problem with my monitor, and it happens like every 2 months. So.
Do you have an Do you have an Asus one, or what do you use?
So it's not the one that I brought here, so I don't quite remember, to be honest. Yeah, I can't remember. There's a funny reason actually why I didn't bring that one here, even though it's the better one. It's the more upgraded one. It's it's the newer one. It's the bigger one.
Probably easier to damage, more expensive to replace.
Well, yeah, it's 144. No, it wasn't that. So it actually is very convenient if I could have packed the damn thing, but I couldn't pack it because what happens is if you tilt it, it thinks that you're trying to tell it to go to the fullest length possible because it has this mechanical spring, I guess, loaded into it, so that if you can set it on a desk, you can easily up down wherever you want it. But if you put it sideways and try and fit it into a suitcase, it just is well, I gotta go full size, I can't do it anything else. And it wouldn't fit, because I literally couldn't stop the spring from just going to the full size. That's why I didn't bring that monitor.
That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
Yes, it is, because this one's not tall enough. So
you know what's sick,
do
though?
this permanently, I would hurt my neck. What?
Look at the check-ins now that the bracket is final. This might be one of the biggest Corsair Cups we've seen all year, frankly. And what I'm loving, we got some good names here on the right side. They're seated in. And then we got some unknown names here. This is what Open Cups are about right here. I am so fucking happy to see so many here signed up. Because the Open Cup is all about these guys here. Are any of these guys going to win the tournament? Unlikely. But that's not why we do this. We want to give them a chance to be the guy who wins the tournament and surprises the fuck out of us. So, shout out to every single person in this round one. I love all of you. Thank you for showing up today.
Aces. I could choose one to cast then.
MperorM might not be too bad. MperorM and Nerazim.
Yeah, I feel like we've cast both those guys before.
We'll cast MperorM before. Yeah, he's pretty good. Vanya might not be too bad. I think that's... Is that Verdi? I don't remember. Oh, it's Suicide? No. Oh, there we go. I got an invite. All right, cool. And they even hosted on GameCard.
Nice.
This guy, Nerazim. Oh.
It's your new favorite.
Even hosted on GameHeart. Y'all are my favorite.
Good stuff.
All right, so it's a best of one for the first round. We haven't had a best of one for so long because it doesn't usually get this big for the bracket. But this is an awesome turnout. Let's get into it. It's Abyssal Reef. The winner of this will go on to fight against... Ooh, Alive. Ooh, Alive. Rip. Good luck, guys.
Oh, it'll be tough.
It'll be tough, but I'm really excited. Especially because Bly and Keen might meet later, too. I think that'll be a really exciting match if we get down to it. But yeah, let's just hop into the load screen and get rid of the Jaeger bomb thing because we're not doing that anymore.
Oh, God.
I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who came up for the birthday stream yesterday. I had a lot of fun. I was so worried about even being able to stream in the first place, so I had a hell of a time yesterday. Thank you, everybody who stopped by. But okay, we're getting into game number 1 of a best of 1. What? It's the Corsair Cup Season 7 Round 2. I'm casting with Zombie Grub, of course, and this is brought to you thanks to Corsair and Twitch. In the lower right, kicking it off, though, it's going to be the purple Protoss, Nerazim.
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 In the top left, as the green Terran, it is MperorM. That wasn't so much me trying to correct it as much as me trying to say it like the Warcraft 3 guys.
Yeah, and you just sounded cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, don't they say Nerazim or something?
No. They say like for Nerazim and for... Yeah, that they do say for Nerazul. They say Nerazim too, don't they?
I only remember... Maybe they say that one as well. I'm not actually sure. But
yeah,
I only remember the Nerazul one because of the best Easter egg in any Blizzard game. And for those who don't know, there's a worker unit for the undead called the Acolyte in Warcraft 3, and you click on a bunch, it says its lines like any Blizzard game does. But my best favorite part is they've got this rough, gruff, zealot-sounding voice. So you click on them enough, their normal line is, "My life for Nerazul." But eventually they'll go, "My life for Ire," or I mean Nerazul.
Yeah, that is probably the best one they got. But I mean, I definitely, like, something says Nerazim, because I just remember, like, hearing it like that, right?
Hey man, I'm just gonna go with it. Sounds cool. Sounds cool as heck.
Sure, right? You know, I still have Warcraft, I think, installed. Even though this is a newer computer, and we haven't played it in like a straight up like year and a half. For some reason, I have that damn game installed. So I think I'm actually gonna play it.
All I remember is we got Chimera rushed by some fans, and that was really mean.
Yeah, we're bitches, man. Nah, I was kidding, but seriously, we sucked.
Well, TvP is a pretty fun matchup right now, and I'm really curious more on MperorM than Nerazim. I think a lot of the balance winding we see coming from this matchup in particular tends to be from the Terrans, not the Protoss. And the Terrans that aren't balance winding about it are proxying. So MperorM, having not proxied, process of elimination.
Whines about it. Hey.
No, I don't actually know if he does or doesn't, but I will be really curious to see how this plays out, because I do feel Terran in general, not just this matchup, not any matchup in particular, but Terran in general has a really weirdly high skill ceiling compared to the other races. It's got a much harder skill floor as well, but like that's why we see Bjorn and Innovation and Gumiho and others make everyone else look so silly. It's not because Terran's imbalanced, it's just those players are imbalanced.
Better tread lightly, man.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure a lot of people are gonna have things to say about that.
I'm fully aware.
Well, as long as you're fully aware.
I'm fully aware of this 2-year resub coming in from Oak Warriors. He unlocks a gloriously fabulous part 2 of 2 years.
Fabulous.
Oh, and I'm sorry, this is totally unrelated to the game, but I just got reminded of this for I don't know why. But did you know, I don't really watch The Simpsons a lot. Did you know they did like some Futurama crossover stuff?
No, I didn't.
I was on like late night YouTube. There's an episode where Bender goes back in time to kill Homer, and I'm like, what? How did I miss this?
Huh. No, I've heard of other things about The Simpsons because I haven't watched that. I mean, even before I think people agreed that it just got bad, I stopped watching it because it was really for me just more something you did, or my family did at the dinner table. We watched The Simpsons, and then we probably stopped eating at the dinner table as a family when I was like 10 or something.
Nice.
So I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I've heard about all the stupid things that they do, I guess. Like, you know, constantly tricking people into thinking that like Marge and Homer are going to get divorced. You know, there's been like two dozen episodes about that, and like it finally happened, but just kidding, not really. Like,
it's like in Homer's dream or something like that, right?
Yeah, something. It just, there's a lot of silly stuff actually. I guess it's good enough to be on TV apparently, but
So, medevac with only one Widow Mine coming in. This is going to be hitting pretty quick. See if Nerazim's response time is good. So far, no good. Oh, there's the pull. Oh, he had it. He had it. I feel like if he had left that on the first probe that was targeting, that would have got a few more kills, but 4's still not bad. It was not dedicated. The medevac didn't take any damage.
Yeah. That there's a couple opportunities to get a few more kills, but I mean, it's funny though because like if you don't pull the probes, then you really are only probably gonna get like 6 killed. It's when you pull the probes too late and you panic that's where like it's just catastrophic. So in a way, it's sometimes better just like realize the situation and say this is my life now and let the 6 probes die. But this is a blink attack or build rather. I mean, it could be him roaming around the map with Blink, trying to find these medevacs, which I mean, I think you should do. But I don't know if an attack wouldn't quite work. There is a tank. There's enough bio. And MperorM still has not yet to start stim or combat shields. It's a little surprising because he has tech labs. Tech lab.
Got the observer.
Yeah,
actually, I guess maybe a gas management problem?
Yeah, this build order doesn't look very fluid here. Which is unfortunate. Okay, well, and I don't know, I think you gotta prioritize stim over 1-1 unless you have a very specific build order in mind. Like, I'm getting the feeling this is not a very specific build order. So, that's a little unfortunate. There it is.
Well,
thank you to Shauna Sin for the 6-month resub.
Nice. As you see, regardless of how less than smooth the build order might be, it doesn't seem like he's in any immediate danger. And I think as long as he gets that combat shields going before stim ends, I'll be happy with it.
Oh, he's got another tech lab, so that should be the case.
Yeah.
Is he only on 4 barracks? Oh, this is just super weird, man. Like, this isn't the production you want.
No, but at the same time for Nerazim, excuse me, like he's only just getting his production down too, but a really fast Colossus comes out. I'm not concerned about the Protoss player in this instance. It's just like, there's not going to be much guarding that Colossus.
Well, I think by the time MperorM pushes out, there will be, is the thing, because like especially because stim is delayed by like a good at least 30 seconds, but I'm thinking more like a minute, really. Tech Lab was on the barracks for a very long time. So I think Nerazim will get that high count of adepts. It was a little odd, I think, to see Blink come out first without any aggression or roaming whatsoever. He did eventually, I guess. Like the Stalkers were out there eventually, but now we're looking to be more like, okay, yeah, you got the Colossus build primarily coming out here with the protection for the Inklings.
This Colossus in like, what is this, hot pink? This looks cool. I like this.
It's in purple, bro.
It's like, I know it's purple, but it doesn't, like the actual, it doesn't look purple, you know? Like, look at the purple of the Nexus, and then look at the purple of the Colossus. That's like two different.
I agree with you. You know.
Actually, you know what? The Colossus looks more like the color of the energy bar of the Sentry than the Nexus.
Yeah, it does. MperorM is pushing as Sim is finishing, but just keep in mind that even though he got us in a tech lab, he didn't actually get combat shields. So these Colossus are going to be especially brutal to go up against the Marines.
I really like the siege tanks, and I like a lot of what they can potentially do, but this is not the place he wants to fight, and I think pulling back was great. My beef, though, man, there we go. Finally, combat shields kicks up. I was watching the gas. Normally, you know what? Like, when you're playing Terran, sometimes you make the mistake. You'll get the medevacs on double too soon, or you'll start double upgrades. Like, you understandably lack gas in the early game, so your combat shields will sometimes be late because of that. That wasn't the case here for MperorM, and this is really going to mess with his timing. Like, he's poking and prodding now, but he really shouldn't be, because these Marines are just going to get fried alive.
Yeah,
and get killed for treason, I guess.
The amount of times you see combat shields start after a 4th command center is pretty low. But at least seeing like a pretty unnecessarily harsh on the guy, but this is giving Nerazim a lot of opportunity to get to that perfect Protoss army without much said about it.
Ooh, but you know what? I love the positioning here. That might make up for a lot of that late tech. Tanks and Liberators should cover against Stalkers and the Colossus, but while these are dealt with down here, it buys the Bio so much time to ravage the main.
It certainly will do that. To go for the robo.
Oh,
for the
he's gonna
robotics
deny
bay.
this. 6 snipe.
Yeah,
6 snipe on the disruptor.
those stalkers should probably go to the low ground.
Oh, he realized there's a
before they
blink
use
too.
their
He knows he can get out of there. Oh, he shot a blink.
That's too bad. That's really too bad for Nerazim.
Oh, you know what? Nerazim built an unconventional amount of cannons here that kind of worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean that army was stimmed. The Colossus, of course, Cliffwalkers just went down on third base anyways, and that wasn't really that bad. And that was a lot of army to give away. And Nerazim didn't really. He lost the Twilight Council and the Robo, but I think he should replace it with double Robo anyways. And
No, bro, double forge.
okay, double Forge. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, double Robo as well because he's banking so much. As well as, yeah, he should definitely replace that Twilight Council because he wants to get the Temple Archives eventually. I'm still kind of surprised that MperorM is going for tanks, by the way. I was going to comment on that like oddly high number of tanks with his first push, but I kind of thought like, nah, like high tanks can work later on.
They can worship the Colossus.
Yeah, exactly right. They can work later on. They're good defensively, but I don't think you continue making tanks 11 minutes into a TvP. It's a little odd.
Well, my only logic here is that if he's really worried about this Colossus, like those Colossus are scarier to him than anything else in the army, you can justify tanks, but then you also just make more Vikings too, right?
Yeah, well, I think the gas should be going into. I can't say my S's today. Should be going into Vikings and double
drunk?
sword production. Yeah, right.
Are you still drunk?
I'm still drunk. I never stopped.
Did you manage to hold on to all the bottles for your mama?
Yeah, I still have them. I haven't taken out the trash yet.
It's like, hey, Scarlett, can you help me drink some soju? It's for a picture.
Yeah, right. It's the sole purpose of coming down here. Just canter 2 bottles of soju. Drink it.
That's kind of like the greatest Netflix and chill. Like, hey, so and so, you mind coming over for some drinks? Like, why? It's like, I need to take a picture.
Yeah.
Make it weirder by letting them know it's for your mom.
Yeah, you don't really capitalize on the weirdness I'm setting up here. All right.
Yeah, you gotta embrace it. All right, well, Nerazim, by the way, has perhaps been worried about a couple of different things here, and it's really interesting watching his response. You know, we got Tempest coming out, Fear of the Liberators, but honestly, Liberators don't seem that scary for MperorM. We got Disruptors, got some good shots under the army. We got these Colossus for some AoE. It's just weird, though, that Nerazim's gone any direction except Templar, and I feel like Templar are just so much better against a Terran army than most of what he has.
I would love to see some Templars.
I think
I would
Storms
also
would
love to
annihilate
see-
this.
Well, I'd also love to see Charge,
Oh, no.
especially once he saw that high tank.
You know what? MperorM's been pretty notoriously clumped this whole game. I'm really worried about these disruptor shots. Okay, good splits. Loses, but not that much. Liberators are not set up. They're in anti-air mode. Vikings get taken out. One of the Colossus goes down, but the tanks are set up now, and this is a good position for these tanks if he can keep the Stalkers back, but he's giving up ground. Immortal on top of the tanks, too.
This isn't working out so badly for MperorM. There really is only.
No, Nerazim's over-dedicating. He's like way over-dedicating for this. The Disruptor gets sniped. Marauders are going to win out this fight, no question about it. 3-2 upgrades as well for them, and the Medivacs remain unscathed.
It's pretty close. The Adepts are finally there forming that protective barrier, but go back to the tanks.
Well, speaking of the Adepts, he's killed a lot of workers, and looks like they're not done yet. MperorM may have been doing some good things, but he's bleeding out SCVs to just 2 Adepts.
Yeah. MperorM is on 5 bases, though, so replacing SCV should not be a problem, but that is definitely the time.
Only one's going to be a planetary. Okay, so he's got like 4 orbitals to work with. SCVs might not be so bad.
Yeah, he might have only want to replace like 10 of the 17, or maybe even less. But that's the point. Like, it's money going into SCVs instead of rebuilding the army. So it's giving Nerazim that time to make up for what ended up being, absolutely an over dedication, a very wonky engagement, one that I feel really could have gone so much better if not just for having storms we're talking about, but having charge too. Like so many blink stalkers. Once the protective barrier is gone, and there weren't that many adepts. They don't have a lot of, killing potential, and they don't have a lot of survival either.
Tempest took a long time. Super shot was almost good, but he focused it down, so it didn't get to detonate. Vikings on the ground look a little bit silly.
Right? Where? Okay, just a simple Tempest. All right, then.
This is an interesting tactic. Okay, so MperorM did this earlier. I wasn't sure if that was a lucky or a choice. or a lucky decision or a choice. But he's very intentionally not trying to split necessarily against the disruptors so much as he is just trying to dive into them and focus them down before the shot detonates. It's a really risky way to play, but I mean, it is paying off for him.
Now that Storms should be protecting the disruptors, I feel like that shouldn't have been the case, but no, it still happens. And some, like, I think one of them was Liberator too. The MperorM is actually looking pretty good. Up 25 supplies, really good upgrades. 4 Colossus should be quite the hassle to deal with, but Nerazim is just so hesitant to push into so many Liberators.
I don't blame him too. Leapfrogging these Liberators forward. Kind of wish we saw Liberator range. Would really sweeten the deal on this, but the Liberators are doing just fine as is, keeping that army back. Tempests are such slow DPS that, yeah, they're going to pick units off, but not at a rate that MperorM's uncomfortable with. Oh, speaking of Liberator range, Fusion Force starts up.
Yeah. He's getting there. I think he's going to get this base. Nerazim also doesn't want to try and actually take a fight here, so he's got to give it up in that case. He did have a 5th. He's actually already in a 6th to the top right.
Well, it's like the first concrete amount of economic damage MperorM's done. He's going to get another base snipe here potentially too, pulling it up with these Nexus snipes. I like this a lot. Stalkers blink into the Marauder fire though, a little bit dangerous as Liberators set up on the back end. But all these Liberators are finally being dealt with. Those Tempests have taken a long time to chip away at them, but they're finally going down. 18 probes dead, 2 Nexus down. This was not a bad attack if MperorM wanted to back away.
Yeah, that ended up being a pretty good position for the Tempests to take out what was a very high count of Liberators, and those aren't easy to replace, not because they're expensive per se. After all, MperorM's on like a pretty good economy, but just that it is only 2 starports recently made, and one of them is at has a tech lab that still is not producing Liberator range.
I do want to point out too, someone in the chat says these guys are pretty well matched. This is what I love. This is the I don't even call it the amateur part of the bracket, the open part of the bracket. This isn't your Bly, your Mana, your Keen, like the guys we are used to seeing, the pros that are in the monthly finals. This match is a good representation of why we don't want the open cups to go away.
Yeah. This army is so weak, so despite it being mostly Marauders and nice concave, it's just not going to stand up well.
Yeah.
With all those Colossus still alive.
It's funny watching the supply shift back and forth. One of the biggest problems I think MperorM's had to deal with is like while this game's gone on, he's been taking decent army fights in the front. Not now, but he bled out so many SCVs, the money wasn't there, the production's not keeping up, and that's going to be it. GG! Nerazim takes the series. He'll move on to the next round.
Alrighty. It's tougher. Terran opponent.
It's hard to lose that many SCVs to Adepts. Let's try to get the camera back up here. And I'll sort that in a minute. I still got my balloons up. I gotta go pop those too. Anyways, yeah, when it goes on to fighting against live, not sure if any of the other matches are good to go or available for us. We'll take a look. And we'll see you guys here in a couple minutes after this first ad break of the day.